Have you ever looked up at a fluffy white cloud and thought, how much does that thing weigh? Well, clouds might look like weightless cotton candy floating in the sky, but let me tell you, they're surprisingly heavy. In fact, some clouds weigh as much as 200 elephants. How is that even possible? And how are they just floating up there? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about what clouds are. Clouds are basically just water, millions and millions of tiny water droplets or ice crystals. They form when warm air rises, cools down, and condenses into droplets small enough to float in the air. But don't let their fluffy appearance fool you. Just because they look light and airy doesn't mean they're weightless. Here's where things get really interesting. The average puffy white cloud you see on a sunny day, the kind we call a cumulus cloud, can weigh up to 1 million pounds. That's like stacking 100 elephants on top of each other. Or if elephants aren't your thing, think of 250 cars hovering in the sky. Now you might wonder, how is all that weight just floating? The secret is in how the water droplets are spread out. Even though a cloud is heavy, all that weight is distributed across millions of tiny droplets, each so small that they're nearly weightless individually. And remember, clouds aren't just sitting still, they're floating on rising air currents. Think of it like this. When you blow up a balloon, it floats on air because it's less dense than the air around it. Clouds work the same way. Not all clouds are created equal. A small, wispy cirrus cloud barely weighs anything, probably less than a house cat. A towering cumulonimbus cloud, the kind that causes thunderstorms, can weigh billions of pounds. That's like carrying the weight of 500,000 elephants. And those thunderstorm clouds? They can stretch so high into the atmosphere that their tops freeze into ice, making them even heavier. So, what happens when a cloud just can't hold all that weight anymore? It rains. When the water droplets inside a cloud grow too large to stay afloat, gravity pulls them down, and they fall as raindrops. Fun fact, a single raindrop is made up of millions of those tiny water droplets combining together. That's why a single cloud can produce so much rain. It's like emptying a giant water balloon in slow motion. Here's something to really blow your mind. If all the water in a single cumulus cloud were poured out at once, it could fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool 30 times over. And if you tried to scoop up a cloud into a bucket, you'd only get a tiny bit of water. Most of a cloud is just air. So, next time you see a cloud drifting by, remember, it's not just a fluffy piece of the sky. It's a massive floating giant holding millions of pounds of water and doing it effortlessly. The world around us is full of everyday miracles, and clouds are one of them. They may look light as a feather, but they're carrying enough weight to make your jaw drop. Who knew something so ordinary could be so extraordinary?